Дорогие друзья, уважаемые поклонники смешанных боевых единоборств, это Blacksmith Fight Championship, который проходит в рамках турнира ММА Серия под номером 17. Мы двигаемся далее. На очереди трехраундовый поединок в весовой категории до 65 килограммов. И в синий угол приглашается спортсмен из города Крымск. Приветствуйте, Владимир Прилипкин!
You're watching MMA Series 17, Blacksmith, and our third bout of the evening is a featherweight contest. This is a Vladimir Prilipkin. Prilipkin has a record of 3 wins and 2 defeats. His wins have all come by decision. His 2 losses by submission. One via armbar, one by guillotine, both times getting caught in the first round. So looking at that record, he needs to be careful early on in the fight, but definitely as the pace goes on, I'm sure he's got the gas tank. As I say, every time I see these guys who have got a lot of decision wins, the tough guys to fight against, because you know they're going to be working hard from start to finish. Prilipkin will be looking to come in here and impress. There you see the Vaseline applied to the forehead and cheek. No longer done in the changing rooms, it's always done by the assistant referee at cage side to make sure it's only applied to the right areas.
Спортсмен в красном углу представляет город Пенза. Встречайте, Сергей Кузнецов!
So his opponent making his way down to this featherweight contest in Anapa, Russia. There before you, you see Sergey Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov has a record of 3 wins and no defeats. All his wins by decision. Making his way down here for the 145-pound limit. So featherweight, 145 pounds or 65.8 kilograms. For a non-title fight, there is the pound allowance, which makes 146. You see placing down that beret at the side as he gets himself ready for this action here. So 2 featherweights, both with 3 wins, but Prilipkin has those 2 submission defeats on his record. Will that give Kuznetsov, looking at his record, the inspiration to go in there and look for an early finish? His wins have come from decisions so far, but could he see this as his opportunity to shine on a big stage and look for an early finish? Armbar and guillotine, so very, very different submissions that Prilipkin has been caught with. The gum shield goes in. Shaking hands with his cornerman after the checks, and he is in to the red corner.
Итак, господа, это трехраундовый поединок в весовой категории до 65 килограммов. Представляем оппонентов. Спортсмен в синем углу. Ему 24 года, рост 180 сантиметров, профессиональный рекорд. 3 победы, 2 поражения. Он представляет клуб РФБ город Крымск. Приветствуйте, Владимир Прилипкин! Его соперник в красном углу. Ему 28 лет, рост 169 сантиметров, профессиональный рекорд. 2 боя, 2 победы. Он представляет клуб «Север» из города Пенза. В красном углу Сергей Кузнецов. Рефери поединка Андрей Ковалев, Сочи.
So here we go, MMA Series 17. This is bout number 3. We have Prilipkin in the blue corner, Kuznetsov in the red. Low kick from Kuznetsov. High kick there from the taller Prilipkin. Will he use that reach? He looks to have very long limbs. He's got the height advantage, but as well the limbs look long. As he's spinning back fist, spinning hook kick. Combination there, both landing short. Neither finding the distance yet, but fair few strikes thrown early on. Kuznetsov looking for the low kick, probably a wise move. Try and chop that front leg out from Prilipkin, who then again effortlessly throws up the head kick, but seemed to pull it. It has scored there on the stats. There was a lead head kick from the taller Prilipkin. As I said, more like a karate style kick as he sliced it up and then dropped down. Now that strike seemed to land there and it forced Kuznetsov into a takedown attempt. He's gone in for the clinch, he's pushing forward. A wizard to defend there from Prilipkin, who manages to break out and stand back up. So the suggestion early on between these two shows, Kuznetsov maybe looking for the takedown on the ground. Prilipkin wanted to use that reach, work the strikes. I mentioned, as we were talking about the middleweights earlier, Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva has this body shape of the featherweight here. Prilipkin, long limbs, tall, rangy, and it suits the striking style, mixed martial arts striking. Anderson Silva's famously came from Muay Thai and then adapted for the cage. Here Prilipkin with that lead leg kick that he's shown. Looks like it's more from the traditional martial arts. Again there, effortlessly throws that kick up, but not got the hips in it as you would expect from a mixed martial artist or a Muay Thai fighter. Front kick. Kuznetsov looking like he's finding it hard to get past those long limbs. Thinking, how does he get in? Needs to move his head, try and work his footwork. It's difficult when the shot's coming down the middle like the front kick and the jab to think about, as well as the round kicks that are coming up from the sides. At the moment, there you see from miles out he had to jump there and he's countered with a right cross. Sharp jab. So the length, the long limbs of Prilipkin are really forcing Kuznetsov to have to try and shoot from distance. I don't think that's a wise move. I think he needs to try to come behind maybe some straight shots of his own or something to set up the takedown. He can't just jump in again there. The shot's coming down from Prilipkin, landing that right cross as his tally for punches goes up to 5 landed. Nice big cage here in Anapa, Russia. Favours when the cage is big like this and the nice round sides. Certainly favours a striker who wants to work like that with the long limbs on the outer feet. Looking to counter, looking to use the space. He steps in with a jab there. Kuznetsov can't throw single shots. He needs to step in behind maybe a 1-2 or a kick and a punch and then try to clinch. Try to really use that to close the distance. At the moment, just picked off from distance. Having to dive in there with the right cross. All the shots here landing from the much taller Prilipkin, who went for the shoot himself there, dropped down distance, met there by Kuznetsov, who goes for the clinch and lands a couple of strikes in the clinch for his probably the best 2 shots he's landed in the round. as the distance was closed down. So here we go, the end of round number 1. Vladimir Prilipkin versus Sergey Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov really needs to close the distance and work inside, but that round was dominated from the outside in open space by Vladimir Prilipkin, and we'll see a bit of that here. 1-2 down the middle from a huge distance. Switches to the low kick and again lands clean. He can throw these punches from outside and move his head back, and he's well out of distance when the counter comes back. So 9 strikes landed compared with 2 from Kuznetsov. 39 thrown. The dominance and moving around, the footwork and control around the cage from Prilipkin made that look like it was a lot bigger difference. He's certainly ahead, and that is a round in the bag for the blue corner. MMA Series 17 Blacksmith from Anapa, Russia. Brought to you by the Football Sports Network and around the world on the Clash TV app. We have Prilipkin in the red, using his reach advantage to outstrike Kuznetsov in the blue. That's in the red, sorry. Prilipkin blue, Kuznetsov red. Again, strikes from out of distance, that low kick, a wicked whip of the hips into the thigh there. Nice overhand right landed. Will that give Prilipkin something to think about? Low kick from Kuznetsov, who started a little more assertive in round number 2. That's better work. He used the strike to set up the takedown, but the underhooks from Prilipkin managed to fight off the submission, the takedown attempt. But this is definitely a better start for round number 2. Kuznetsov has listened to his corner, I'm sure, and is working better there. So nice right hand, low kick, and he's had the punch straight into the clinch. That's how he's going to set up this takedown if he's going to get it. Again, lead high kick from Prilipkin. Prilipkin suits him here that if he stands off, because he can just keep firing the jab. The 1-2 down the middle, as we call that long jab cross. And just picking off there again with a low kick. Kuznetsov cannot afford to stand at distance here. He has to try to work in behind the punches and into the clinch. Otherwise he's going to be picked off like he was in round number 1. MMA Series 17, and that was a takedown attempt there. Kuznetsov closed the distance. Nice shots on the inside as well. He needs to take advantage of this now. Close that distance again. Grab the legs. Good work here. Now he's got him close. He had the underneath control. Gets the takedown. This is where he needs to try to dominate. Stay past the legs. He's keeping the legs nice and tight together. He'll pin those now. Looks to triangle the legs. That was good work though from Prilipkin, who managed to get out, but there's a hook in. Can Kuznetsov pull him down to a hip, break him down to a hip so he can't stand up? Working the strikes in. At the moment, he's got one hook. He's looking to get hook number 2, and he does. Can he flatten him out, get that seatbelt position, or work to get underneath the chin? For now, he's going to strike from here. Big shots now from the back. Gets the choke underneath. Looks to turn him to his back. The head's turned. He's looking to turn into him. Settles for the mount position there. Well escaped there from Vladimir Prilipkin, who's looking to now just hold him close. Take any power out of those strikes. Big elbow. Kuznetsov got 1 minute 25 seconds to try to make the most of this mount position, the top position. He's worked to get the takedown. He's worked to get past the guard and be on top. He needs to make the most of it. He's got 1 minute 15 seconds to do this. Heavy strikes, arms being tied up by the long limbs of Prilipkin. controlling the head, controlling an arm. But they're big shots. Every time he gets a hand free, these are heavy punches. Hammer fists down. Using the hammer fist, which has much less padding than the back of the fist. Looking to use the elbows to do damage now. 45 seconds left in round number 2. Featherweight contest between Vladimir Prilipkin underneath the mount of Sergey Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov looking to strike. That was a big elbow over the top. Did that cut the eye there? That was a slicing elbow. I think that cut underneath the right eye there as he sliced across with the elbow of Vladimir Prilipkin. Now this could change up how things work. He's looking for a finish. He's landing a lot of shots, but there's good head movement from Prilipkin. This is intelligent defense. He's moving. That was a big shot through the middle though. Big elbows. Blood now streaming from the face of Vladimir Prilipkin. Kuznetsov is looking for the finish. He landed a lot of shots there and a lot of damage was done to his opponent. Now that is how you pull a round away from someone who's dominated. Look at the overhand right there. Left hooks. The closer distance was working here from Kuznetsov. Looking to catch the legs, then he got into the clinch. He got to the floor. Look how the neck was turned round, so he didn't have the control of the blood on one side of the neck. Once he got the mount, it was a big elbow when the gum shield had come out that caused the cut. So now, look, the strikes tell a very different stories. Kuznetsov, 52 strikes landed, Prilipkin, 14. That was a big, big round there. So he's feeling much more confident, sat there now.
Заместитель генерального директора строительной компании «Славянский дом» Сергей Сергеевич Лескин. Добро пожаловать.
I believe the fight may have been stopped by the medics there. It was a bad cut underneath the eye. It was a very heavy cut from a seriously good elbow from Sergey Kuznetsov. Turned the fight around there, and it's a medical stoppage. There'll be a TKO win between rounds for Vladimir against Vladimir Prilipkin for Sergey Kuznetsov, who gains his first stoppage win.
Уважаемые поклонники смешанных боевых единоборств, поединок остановлен медицинской бригадой ввиду невозможности продолжить поединок спортсмена из синего угла. Победа присуждается спортсмену из города Пенза, клуб «Север», Сергей Кузнецов. Общие фото, заслуженные подарки нашим спортсменам, нашим героям. Володя, вернитесь, пожалуйста, сюда, мы вас поддержим, аплодируем. Желаем скорейшего восстановления, возвращения в октагон, в ринг. Конечно, это очень и очень обидно. Может быть, вот эти аплодисменты и поддержка зрительного зала хоть как-то скрасят.
You're watching from Sports Network, MMA Series-17, Blacksmith.
Север, город Пенза. Общие фото на память. Прошу в центр.
You see the bad cut there underneath the right eye. As we watch the replay here of this featherweight contest between Vladimir Prilipkin and Sergey Kuznetsov. Prilipkin used his distance well, the reach advantage to fire shots in, but he was closed down as the fight went on by the grinding style of Sergey Kuznetsov. And once he got the takedown, he dominated with his rear naked choke attempt and then took mount and landed some very heavy ground and pound, which did that damage. It was a slicing elbow, left elbow underneath the right eye that cut up the eye.